The year is 2012, and you hear that they're making a new Spider-Man, but it's now with Tobey Maguire. What are those little goofballs doing? Don't they know he's Spider-Man? This is when you learn the term reboot, which is when Hollywood runs out of ideas and takes something old and makes it new. A lot of this has been happening in recent years. Every once in a while one will click, but more often than not, there's a lot of stinkers. Sometimes when enough time has passed and they do a reboot of something, that becomes the one people refer to like The Mummy. However, if there's a reboot of something from the 90s, like let's say The Mummy, not enough time has passed to where there's a new enough take on something because the climate of everything's more or less the same. There is a caveat to this though. If there was a movie made in a foreign country in a different language, then it's okay to remake it a few years later in English, like the movie The Guilty, which was a Danish movie that was then remade for Netflix last year. Regardless of the scrutiny that reboots get, there's a fair bit that are pretty good. Like the Amazing Spider-Man movies, which I thought before No Way Home, so don't call me a bandwagoner. I don't even own a wagon. Other than Spider-Man though, a lot of the superhero reboots have also worked. Well, you may be wondering, why'd this goofball decide to pause my video? Well, I got a Patreon and I wanted to tell you about it. Over there I upload a Patreon exclusive video every month, and you can see that whether you contribute $5 or $10, and I think that's a steal. And if you enjoyed this video so much that you want more, well, you're in luck, because next week, I'm going to be posting the bloopers from this video, and trust me, there's a lot, and they're stupid. So if you enjoy that and you want to see more, consider donating to my Patreon. Go on over there and donate and give me some money. Back to the video. As of late, there have been a lot of reboots being made for a new generation, like Top Gun, Star Wars, iCarly, Blue's Clues. 3 of those were good, and then there was Star Wars. The new Top Gun was good, although a lot was rehashed, but I thought it was a good enough continuation to the original movie and was a good vessel to bring a movie from 1986 into the minds of people who may have never seen the original but want to see the new one. One gripe I have with Top Gun Maverick though, I don't like Rooster's mustache. Sure, it may help convey the fact that your goose is some better, but just because your dad had a mustache when he was in the Navy in 1986, that doesn't mean you'll have a mustache in 2022 when you're in the Navy. God damn it. A reboot that didn't turn out very good was the 2018 version of The Grinch. It's not great, but I can understand how a little kid would like it. It's similar to The Lorax, where there's a subplot behind the main plot that isn't as good as the original, but adds depth to the movie, but I much prefer the Jim Carrey and original movies to this one anyway, so I'm probably not going to watch this one ever again. I will go more in depth, but it's a summer and I don't want to talk about Christmas, so I'll talk about that later. On to the next topic. An instance of a TV reboot that was done well is the new seasons of iCarly. The new show is still a kids show in the sense that a kid could watch it, but it's less of a kids show than it was originally. The whole idea is that we return to the characters wherever they're at since the last time we saw them. Carly quit making iCarly but is now returning to it. Freddy's now a divorced single dad living with his mom, and Spencer's a successful artist. There's the occasional swear word like damn or hell, or maybe a bitch. But there's also more adult themes that occupy the episodes. One episode I watched, Spencer tries setting up Freddy on a date with his friend, but she doesn't want to go on the date, so Spencer hires what turns out to be a prostitute to fill in. It does have the same vibe as the original show because it's the same characters just aged up, but for the most part it feels like a more adult show and is something those who grew up with the show can enjoy without watching a kids show. There's a fair amount of sitcom cliches that I'm not terribly fond of, but overall I'm a fan of this show. There's some solid jokes and it also doesn't give off the vibe that it's done for a money grab like some reboots do. They could have easily went back to the old format and made another kids show, but they decided not to and had the show grow up with the original audience so they could watch it as well. I can easily see a kid today getting into the show, and as someone who grew up with the original iCarly, I enjoy it as well. So based on the episodes I've watched, I'd say this is a reboot worth checking out. Another good reboot is live action Lion King. That may be a controversial opinion, but I don't care. Yeah, this movie feels like a money grab, but it's still good. I like seeing the animals run around, it's cool. I like Donald Glover, I like Seth Rogen, the CGI is cool, I like the movie. Feel free to write in the comments, because I don't care, I like this movie, it's cool. Plus they got Darth Vader to be the bad guy. Alright, enough praise, let's talk about bad one. This next one I'm going to talk about is less of a reboot and more of a reimagination. That being the Dukes of Hazzard movie. It stars Sean William Scott and Johnny Knoxville as Bo and Luke Duke. I don't know about you, but when I think Dukes of Hazzard, I don't think American Pie and Jackass. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy both those movies, but this movie does not feel like a Dukes of Hazzard movie. Sure, it's set in the same universe, but it's more of a buddy comedy than something that exists in the universe, which makes sense because it was directed by one of the guys from Super Troopers. This movie could have been revered as a pretty good movie if it didn't use the Dukes of Hazzard name and was just two cousins named The Boy and Lance trying to expose the mayor and make it to a race on time and call it the Kings of Caution. And Warner Bros, you can have that one for free. I wouldn't even charge you this time. So if there's anything we've learned, it's that reboots are pretty hit or miss. They either do justice to the original property and hold up to its predecessor, or it's a steamy pile of dog shit. Either way, we have to recognize that even if the new thing is bad, it doesn't taint the original. The original is still there and is able to be watched. It's not like once a new thing comes out, the old one is wiped from existence. It's not like a software update. Though that's not the case, a lot of people act like it is. If a studio reboots a franchise of someone's favorite childhood show and it turns out bad, they'll say it ruined their childhood, when believe it or not, your childhood show is still there. Just go watch that. Granted, there are reboots that we could have done without, but you gotta keep in mind that it most likely opened up a new audience to not only the new movie or show, but also the old one. If someone's first exposure to a franchise is through a reboot and they enjoy it, but the general consensus is that it's bad, that person will probably be led to the original. Take something like The Grinch or Top Gun. If a kid sees The Grinch and wants more, they'll probably be led to the Jim Carrey one. And with Top Gun, if someone's friend asks if they want to go see the new Top Gun, they're probably going to watch the original first. I know it's far-fetched, but that'll probably happen. Sure, some reboots are all fine and dandy, but not everything needs a reboot. Like Ghostbusters, that could have been left alone. The new Star Wars was pretty meh. Granted, I haven't seen the 9th one, but I can't imagine it's much better. Anyway, you get the point. At the end of the day, not everything needs a reboot. Sure, some are good, but it's also nice to have new movies come out, like Doom. Wait. Damn it.